Hey, what is up, traders? It's January 21st, 2020, and this is a little market update video. We just started the Asian session about 2 hours ago, and turnaround Tuesday today, and I thought we were going to see a little more action in the markets than we did. We were off to a really good start this morning. There's a lot more volatility. We hit some take profits in our VIP group. But it really seemed like the markets came to a screeching halt about 3 hours into the New York session. So I'm going to go over what I think the market is setting up. I think, there's big revolvement around the dollar, I guess you'd say. And we also obviously have some geopolitical things going on right now. But first, before I get into that, please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. If you would, that would be amazing. I mean, I do tons of update videos and content for free, and trying to add value to the Forex world and community, and really with no strings attached, so you all can get to know me and my analysis on what it is that I think's going on in the world. So with that being said, there's two big things going on in the world. And there's a lot of big things going on right now, but the Trump's impeachment trial in the Senate, which, to be honest, I don't think it's going to be much of a market mover. I really don't. I think if anything, it's what would be a market mover is that we may see Trump really go to some extremes and lash out, as he has a tendency of doing, especially as the stress and maybe some surprise witnesses, if anybody is allowed to testify. Who knows if that's going to even happen. But if that does happen, I think that would be the thing that's going to be the market mover, because Trump could, just act out rashly, perhaps. It's not like something that he hasn't done before, and tweet out some crazy stuff, or slap a tariff on a country. Who knows what could happen. As far as the trial goes itself, I don't think it's going to move the markets much, unless, of course, something, it doesn't look like he's going to be removed from office because there's a Republican-held Senate. But if that were to happen, then yeah, that would move markets, insanely. But the second thing is, and I don't know if I really agree with it, but a lot of the people that I follow on Twitter and it's my mentors, they are saying that the coronavirus and this outbreak that's going on in China could be a massive market mover. And the reason they're saying this is because in 2001, 2002, I don't know if some of y'all are old enough to remember the SARS outbreak, when that happened in China, and that was a big turnaround in the markets. So, what they're saying is that could be the start of the domino that's going to turn over the markets right now, because, it is clearly at a turning point, no doubt about it. But we'll see about that. So that being said, there's a lot going on, and you can't. The elephant in the room is where the SP 500 is at. Is it going to burst higher? We saw a big rebound, or a dip in gold today that got bought up pretty quickly. I was really, really hoping for us to break this 1547 level. So let me go ahead and share my charts with you, and so we can knock this thing out. So when we're talking about gold, we're talking about the dollar. Sure, you have the dollar index, but the euro, when we're talking about the dollar index, we have to concentrate pretty much on the euro. I think the better barometer right now for reading what's happening with the dollar is US dollar Japanese yen, and I'll show you why. So here we are. We're at this breakout here of this smaller term trend line that went from these fractal points on down, but we broke out of there, and then we met with another trend line resistance, and this is a multi-year trend line. that goes back to 2000 and March 2015. So this then goes way back. And when you have a trend line or a support zone or resistance level, whatever, that goes back this far, you know, it's going to be a significant breaking point. So the thing is, it's simple enough. If we break down below this 109.70 level, which, you know, would be an excellent place for a buy limit, then you can expect some serious downside and some serious weakness out of the dollar. And, you know, we were doing pretty well as far as dollar strength goes, but this came from Asian session last night, and I personally thought it was from Chinese, the Bank of China putting some money into their economy to help the repo market, but apparently this was more centralized around this coronavirus outbreak. So I don't really know what to believe there as far as you know, what it is that's moving the market. I don't really understand how the virus outbreak, sure, any type of, it doesn't really matter what the political event is. If there's any type of serious risk involved, we're going to see a strengthening of the yen. And so that correlates very, very strongly with gold. And gold is in kind of a dip mode. It's wanting to pull back here pretty strongly. Let's see, my charts got erased. And so this is what I'm looking at. And this is how I would mark up this chart, starting from scratch. And so we had this nice little dip here this morning, very early in the session, and you can see we broke down and we bounced along, and we almost kind of broke down this to this 1548, 1547 level. So that is the level, if you want to set those in your charts at home, that you want to be watching for. So, you know, that's going to be some serious support to break. And it appears that every time we hit this level, bulls are defending it very, very, very strongly. So it's going to take some downside here to break this. But, you know, it looks like we have, we're wanting to continue to dip here because, you know, this was a pretty big rejection at this 1566 level yesterday. So we'll see what happens here with gold, and, you know, inversely to that. So if we're looking at gold and we think it's going to drop, you really want to look for the dollar yen here to get back above 110, and you can see we're starting to make some moves here, and to retest this 110. $110.25 and really break out above this 110.30 level. And if we do that, then you can really expect a very strong pullback in gold. So here we are with GBPUSD. Out of all the pairs, we got some great trades in here in our VIP group. And really, this is by far the most volatile thing moving today for sure in the markets. And our trades look something like this. Here we are with, we got a buy in here. I need to move the stop loss to entry. I know guys that are watching that are in my students and stuff, but you can see we had a buy here. We wrote it on up here to retest this trend line, and we nearly broke out. And I sent out a setup or a signal here right here at our entry. 1.3075, and we got caught some pips there. We didn't quite hit our second take profit target, but between these two, we were able to catch a good 80 pips going both ways. So in a market that really wasn't wanting to move much, that was a good win. I wanted to look at US dollar Swiss. So we're still trying to move higher here in dollar Swiss. You know, you can see we have our buy down here from our group, and still holding, and we're about 60 to 70 pips in on this trade, and I'm expecting it to move higher. So if we're going to look at the dollar Swiss, I think lastly we'll look at the dollar index. Here is Euro USD though, and just like I've been saying in my videos, how important this level is of 110.80. This is the sweet spot. You know, if we break down below it, that's going to be pretty bearish for the dollar. If we can get back above 111.10, 111.20, then you can expect this rally in Euro USD to continue. So let's take a look at the dollar index. And we have still, I think, in my opinion, broken out here of this level. And we had a nice little retest as well. So, you know, we did see a little bit of dollar weakness today. I'm hoping that because I have some dollar, you know, have some trades that are bullish the dollar. So I'm hoping that for our turnaround Tuesday trade, we saw the dollar weakness today. And that we will see strength continuing on and going into our session tomorrow. So I think these dips on these yen pairs will be potentially a good play to be bought, but I don't want to get too aggressive here on these pairs because of this whole virus thing. But you know, because it seemed like the market is looking for some sort of excuse to react to something. So, but here we are on the dollar index, right? So we're starting to push higher, and if we can break this level of support or resistance here, then you know you can expect this rally to continue higher. And I mean, that's just ridiculous looking at that thing, but I think that really, no matter right now with Trump in office, and trust me, I have been talking about the SP 500. If you've been watching my videos, turning around for a long time. You know, I called this little dip here, and then I bought and took profit so early, it's ridiculous. I hate even looking at it, but that's how it goes sometimes. So what I was saying is that, you know, there doesn't, if we get some sort of dip here, the Trump administration and the Fed, for that matter, are going to do whatever they can to pump this thing back up. And the last thing they want on their hands is a big reversal, which could lead, you know, this thing's been moving so bullishly that last thing they want is if a huge correction, which would put the U.S. economy into a recession. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about it. So it's not if that happens, it's when. But really, I think the game is as long as they can prop it up, and how long can they continue to do it? Because that's all they did in 2019 with the China trade phase 1 deal. So, you know, but who knows what could happen with the Trump impeachment trial, and, you know, with him like potentially lashing out and being erratic. So I hope you found this video helpful. You know, we didn't have too many huge moves in the market, but we have a lot of stuff setting up. So and it's only Tuesday, man, for sure. So there's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of action tomorrow. So if you want to get started with me, with our amazing VIP group, our community of traders, I created a program where I teach my philosophies about the markets and trading, and I make it as simple as possible. So if that's something you're interested in, click on the links below to get started, and I will see you in the chat room. All right, everybody. Adios.